Alright, so hi, Alice Tiffany. Um, since I have some time before I go to dialysis, I'm going today. I don't have a headache, but I'm going today. I wanted to explain why my relationship with Michael Wen ended September 14th, 2025. Um, Now this wasn't an abrupt decision. It seems like it was an abrupt decision made on my part with the way I announced it and with the way that, everything just kind of came crashing down all at once. But no, this was something that was at least a year in the making. And this quote unquote joke about Michael being gay was just the straw that broke the camel's back for me. I had been experiencing some trouble with him leading up to this. Now, we all know I have not shut up about I'm going to Los Angeles in October for a Michael Jackson event that takes place on Halloween. I have done this twice since I was with him, and around the time of it starting, he's had a problem with it each time. Last year around this time, last year actually, I did 2 Michael Jackson events. I went in June, then I turned around and went back in October for 2 different events. June and October of last year, I'm afraid to fly. That's what's kept me off of airplanes for the majority of my adulthood. I saw 9/11 happen. I saw it unfold. I watched the planes hit the building. And for a very long time, I was scared I'm going to get on a hijacked plane. I'm going to be a statistic somewhere. So he knew I'm afraid to fucking fly. What does he start sending me last year? All of these news reports about planes that have disappeared, planes that have crashed, planes that have, burst into flame upon takeoff and all that sort of shit. So yeah, that didn't help me. And keep in mind, he did this twice, in June and October. So, because he was pissed that I'm going to Los Angeles. And the only reason I'm going to Los Angeles is through the kindness and generosity of my friend Carol. He is jealous of the fact, I guess, that she's my friend and that she's helping me out. Now, also last year, like I said, was the beginning of the end, on top of what I just disclosed. Last year, January of 2024, I was in the hospital for a long time because I had a wound on my backside that turned into, it became infected, badly infected, to the point where I nearly died. I had to be on antibiotics for 4 months to clear it up. And that stemmed from me being sick in December of 2023 with pneumonia and congestive heart failure at the same time. So I managed to get out of the hospital from that, come home, got wildly sick with the infection, like almost overnight, got wildly sick with it, called him and begged him to bring me to the hospital. I'm sick, I don't feel good, I'm hallucinating. I was literally hallucinating. I saw Terrell Jackson planking on top of the door to my bedroom. That's how fucking sick I was. I call him. Now, granted, I did call him at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, but I would not have called him if I didn't think that my life was in danger. And you're supposed to be my partner. You're supposed to be down to help me. Never mind that I have been to the hospital with him before. Also, when he had to get a boil on his ass lanced, I was there, holding his hand as they cut into his ass cheek. And did I complain at all? No, let me get my clothes on and I'll be there with you. However, when I called him, he's having a fucking fit. He doesn't want to come. Keep in mind, he doesn't want me to call 911 because he thinks that the boo-boo bus costs $5,000. I don't know where he got this information from. No, a ride in an ambulance is about $450, which is a number I don't give a shit about if there's an emergency going on. Like, I'm really gonna sit and squabble about a few $100s when it's life and death over here? Do you know how many times I've called the ambulance for my mother? Dozens of times. Dozens. And it never entered into the chat of, how much is this going to cost? Gee, that's a lot of money. It's like, Rita's dying. Let's get the ambulance here. So, I called Michael over. He's angry with me. He's bitching the entire time. I had to give him gas money. I had to give him an energy drink just to take me. Keep in mind, I'm still over here sick and with a fever and hallucinating and going into psychosis from all of the toxins in my system. Get to the hospital. Put me in a room and everything. He left me alone in the middle of a psychotic break that I later found was because I was just that damn sick. I went into, the nurse called it some type of psychosis. I can't recall exactly what she called it, but she said it's because your body was starting to shut down. You were dying. I was dying. He left me. Why? Because he wanted to sleep. He left me. I'm literally on the phone screaming at the top of my lungs to the point my throat is burning. Why did you leave me here? Why did you leave me here? The only people there with me was Noonie and the fucking nurse doing rounds. And me screaming into my phone, crying and having a fit. So, once I got back home, I started to withdraw from him right then. Because I felt betrayed. And I haven't lost that feeling yet. I haven't shaken that feeling. And I'm probably always going to carry that feeling with me from here on in. So, there was another year to us being together, whatever. But there was always that voice in the back of my mind saying, if something happens, he's not trustworthy. And here's the thing. Before this happened, I literally went through all of my medical channels and had changed him to, being that power of attorney or whatever they call it, where if I am incapacitated and can't make decisions for myself, he's who they would call. 2 days after this whole incident, and I was able to get back to dialysis, I found a social worker. I sat down with the social worker, with Big Christy. I said, I need to change my information again. I changed my information back to where it was before I had changed it to Michael, which is my friend Ebony. I trust Ebony because, she's very busy. She has everything that she's doing in her life. But if I'm sick and I go to the hospital and I call her and I say, hey, I'm in the emergency room, 30, 45 minutes later, she's walking through the door with a concerned look on her face asking what's going on. That's the support I need. I don't call on Ebony very often unless it's actually life and death. But just knowing that somewhere on a file is her name and phone number and everything in case something were to happen to Tiffany, I can sleep at night. Now, let's move forward to the present. There have been other instances and shit and bull going on with Michael, but here we are. About a month and a half ago, I was hungry. We all know I'm the queen of DoorDash. I have DoorDash installed in my phone. I have a special folder with pictures of my apartment complex in it to send to the DoorDashers so they can find me. That's how much of into DoorDash I am. So I was hungry, and 3 separate occasions, I ordered food off of DoorDash using his card. It came to less than $70, about $67 and some change. Now, we had already broached this topic, and he said, you're going to have to pay me my $70 back. You stole from me. He called me a thief, blah, 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 all of this stuff. I said, okay, I'm going to pay you back. My money is tied up right now. It'll have to be until after I come back from California. Because everything, every last penny I have is being poured into getting my clothing, getting my suitcase, getting everything ready for this trip. Which we all know is of the utmost importance. It's not like he's gonna drop dead without $70. It's not like he's gonna have his utilities cut off or be kicked out of his house or something. No. It's a standing little debt, and it's going to get paid. And I'm going to make damn sure that it's the last interaction I have with him is to pay him back this. I thought that once I had said, I'll pay you back, first week in November, that was the end of it. So, back again, I'm talking about my trip. It's less than 45 days away. I'm getting mighty close to it. Of course, I'm starting to talk more about it, starting to look forward to it, starting to prepare more for it. Again, he starts having a fit. Now, in the meantime, that damn ass bag that he calls a mother showed up, told him, well, I didn't tell him shit. I just asked him twice, are you sure you want this woman here? He was certain he wanted his mother to come live with him. Now, keep in mind, this woman did not raise him. She left him to the foster system for 7 years, where bad shit happened to him in foster care. But like I said, I'm not going to come between a man and his mother if that's what he has his mind made up to do. Unfortunately, that decision came back to bite him in the ass because after a week, he couldn't stand that bitch being here, and spent the next 3 weeks sending her back from whence she came. And he spent a great deal of money that is just now gone with the wind on this venture that did not pan out. Now, once again, is any of this Tiffany's fault whatsoever? No, it's not. My mother's been dead since 2008. She has been buried comfortably in Sacred Heart Cemetery in Beaumont, Texas since, when did she die? The first week of May, 2008. She got buried May 7th, 2008. She's been there since then. And as far as I know, no Thriller antics have gone on. So she hasn't come knocking at my door or anything yet. In the meantime, while all of this bullfuckery is going on with his mother, I'm still being supportive and listening to him complain and bitch and whine and moan about this folly that he has entered himself into, that he didn't need to do. And like I said, it's none of my fault whatsoever. So I start talking about, my jacket arrives from Amazon. My wigs start arriving. I'm excited because, my clothing is appearing. My things that I want to have for this event are appearing. I bought a special gift for Taj Jackson should I see him. That has appeared also. I have to wrap it and make sure that I bring it with me and, all of this sort of stuff. He loses his fucking mind. Now, never mind that his birthday gift is still sitting on my coffee table right now. I can't return it because it's out of the window to return it, so I'm just stuck with this bottle of cologne now. I may give it to him, I might smash it, I don't know. But he came into my messages and was bitching and crying about, if you're going to keep talking about this trip, I'm not going to talk to you. I'm going to give you a silent treatment. Keep in mind, this is a 36-year-old man with gray hair. This is not like some teenager somewhere. This is a grown-ass fucking man with gray hair on his ass. This is an old man. And he looks even older than what he is. My black don't crack. I have absolutely no filter on right now. You're looking at how the general world sees me on a daily basis. And, he's complaining. So, in town, there is a horror attraction called the Haunted Hotel. There's a fly in my fucking room. There's a haunted attraction called the Haunted Hotel. It's been a thing since before I was born. So, all of a sudden, he's screaming and hollering. He wants to go to the Haunted Hotel. He wants to spend Halloween with me. He wants to do this. He wants to do that. Here's the thing. The Haunted Hotel opens September 26th. And it's open every weekend until the first weekend of November. It's not like it's just open Halloween Day and that's it. That's the only chance you can get to it. No, it's open multiple fucking weekends. I even said, I sent him screen caps of the webpage. I said, pick a weekend. We can go. I even said that I would pay admission for us, which is about $50 for 2 people to go do this bullshit. Just I can't do it Halloween night. Why? Because I'm going to be in Los Angeles at the Palace Theater watching Ghosts with everybody else for Prince Jackson's charity. That's non-negotiable. Everything has been paid. The ticket has been bought. My plane ticket has been bought. Carol is cleaning out her house right now in preparation for me and Ebony to come stay at her house. That I don't understand what part of me saying that is difficult to understand. We can't just back out of this shit. So he never gave me a day of where we were going, when we were supposed to go. I would have gotten the tickets for this stupid thing and gone. But another problem with Michael is he will say shit. He will say, let's go to this place. Let's do this place. Let's see this thing. And it doesn't happen. Like, everything I'm saying is going to happen. Tiffany is going to get into Ebony's car. They're going to drive to the airport. They're going to fly out to California. They're going to see Carol. They're going to do Michael Jackson shit for 2 or 3 days together. That's assured. That's going to happen with the help of God. Knock on wood. Michael, no. Because right now, I say this all the goddamn time. When me and him first got together in May of 2023, he said, we're going to go to Schlitterbahn in Galveston. That's a water park. There is a royal blue swimsuit and cover-up in my closet. Never been worn. It's hung there for 2 years. Michael was supposed to have a housewarming party for his new home. I have the black and gold dress still hanging on my door. Never worn. The party got canceled because his mother decided to show out and knock ass. He was supposed to have it again at the end of this month, which, I'm obviously not going now, but I'm stuck with this formal dress that is too flashy to wear to the grocery store, too flashy to wear to church. It's a special occasion dress. And unless I just decide to randomly enter somebody's beauty pageant at my big ass age of 39, it's likely not going to get worn. So there's that. 2 events. There's plenty of other events and shit where he said, well, we can go do this, we can go to this, we can do this, we can do that. It didn't materialize. It was just a pipe dream. So aside from that, getting closer back to where we are today. So all at once he starts talking about he wants to go to New Orleans. He's going to go to New Orleans. He's going to go to New Orleans. I'm saying I can't go to New Orleans because I have to get all of my treatments in and look good to the people in California. Because keep in mind, I still have to try to do a treatment for dialysis in California. And in order for those people to consider you from out of state, you have to show them that you're going to all your treatments, that you're doing your full treatments, that you're a responsible patient and responsible candidate and all this sort of stuff. Because, I could be taking up a place that could have gone to somebody else. And if I'm a shitty patient, that's just a waste of a spot. Anyway, he leaves. He left that Saturday night. And, he said he was going to meet his buddy there. He was going to go there, yada, yada, yada. Okay. So, Sunday afternoon, before then, I had been hearing different things. Some of his co-workers had said, oh, Mike says y'all not together. Mike is saying this, Mike is saying that. So I'm saying, well, what's the reason that he's giving? The reason I was giving for us being rocky right now was that he was pissed off about me going to California. They were saying he was giving a completely different thing. So I never could get on the same page with him about, are we together? Are we not together? If we're not together, what was the reason? Was it something I did? Was it what happened? I need to, my closure. What's going on, brother? So, finally he texts me And he says, now this is on Sunday, he texts me, um, I realize that I'm gay. I said, oh, okay. I took this at face value at what he said. Oh, okay, this man has just jumped out the closet. There's nothing left here for us. There's nothing left here for me. And, if you look at the post that I made of my text message, the last thing I said is, well, I guess that's that then. That was it. So, now he let 48 hours pass. He let two days pass. Now keep in mind, in the meantime, I got physically ill from the stress, had a migraine, threw up 7 times because I internalized my stress and it manifests as a migraine. So I was physically ill for, about 2 days there. I go to the store Wednesday. Who is sitting around on the bus to take me to the store this past, not Wednesday, Tuesday, this past Tuesday? Him. So, I gave him his house key back. He gave me some Michael Jackson CDs that I left in his car. All right. I go. I'm cordial. I want to kill him, but I'm cordial. Go to the store, get what I need to get out the store, get back on the bus. He brings me back home. So as we're driving back to my apartment, he turns and looks at me and asks me, do you want a second chance? Like it's my fault, first of all. Like it's my fault. It's not my fault. But Tiffany, do you want a second chance? Not Michael, do you want a second chance? Or, babe, give me another chance. But Tiffany, do you want another chance? I'm like, for what? You said you were gay. So he starts saying, that was a joke. That was a joke. Keep in mind, 48 hours has passed. It's not like you made this joke, then 10 minutes later it's like, haha, I was kidding. You let 48 hours pass. You let me go for 48 hours, process this, internalize this, react to it poorly, be sick from it, miss dialysis because I was busy throwing up, and now you had a big reveal that this was a joke. No. So I'm asking him, as we're parked out front of my goddamn apartment, so you didn't go to New Orleans and fuck another dude. I said it like that. I said, you didn't fuck another dude. He said, no. I said, you weren't hooking up with somebody in New Orleans. He said he was going to see his buddy. He is always a buddy. He always has a buddy. That's funny. How all of your buddies are out of town. I got buddies. My buddy lives in the south end of town. Her name is Ebony. She's lived in that same house for as long as I've known her, about 25 years. And she was born and raised in that house as far as I know. So she's been in that house damn near 40 years. That's her family's house. I'm not just randomly running off into the night at the drop of a hat. Like I said, she works in town as a teacher. We're going to California like we've done the last 3 goddamn years. Nothing strange, nothing weird. Might see Taj Jackson if we're lucky. But, it's not like... I'm not doing this under the context of, or a lie of, oh, I'm going to hook up with these people way over here. No. But the way that you portrayed it to me was, I'm going to New Orleans, I'm going to go play butt bingo with somebody, and, maybe we're together, maybe we're not together. Then all of a sudden, haha, it's a joke. I don't take jokes like that seriously. Like, a joke would be like, jump from behind the corner, boo, haha. Not, hey, I'm questioning my sexuality. I've changed my sexuality. I am no longer attracted to your sex, Tiffany. I'm no longer attracted to you. That's not a joke. And then to let it lay for 2 days without saying anything, without replying anything, without texting or calling or anything like that. before I got off of the bus the other day, he said, do you want to get back together? I told him I will think about it. I thought about it for about half a nanosecond. No. Mm-mm. No. No. Because, if I went back to him, I was always going to have that little seed in the back of my head of, is he for real? Was he really joking? Or was he telling the truth and he's just trying to use it as a cop-out or something now? No. I'm not going back. But the thing is, he's going to realize the mistake he's made. He's probably already realizing it now. He had me. He was supposed to have me for the holidays. It was supposed to be the three of us, me, him, and his mother, for the holidays. But with the way that the two of them are contentious right now, I assume he's going to be spending his holidays alone. Now, this is what he shot himself in the foot with. He's knocked himself out of me coming for the holidays, me cooking, me bringing food, me going to the store, buying the food, preparing the food, feeding him. Now he has to find his own food. He has to cook his own food. Whether or not he eats or not, I could care less. But yeah, you don't have this anymore. You don't. At one point I really thought that I was going to marry this person. I thought that, we were going to have a life together. We were going to raise children together. I'm glad that that's not a possibility anymore. Because I would have to carry those children completely with my genetics. I would have to give the kids the good looks. I would have to give the kids the intellect. He would just basically be a sperm donor, because I would have to carry everything for these children. He's not the best looking person. He's certainly not the brightest person. He is the only person I've ever known that's Asian that had to take remedial classes in school. The only person. The only Asian person. He's completely failing that stereotype. I don't know. It's gonna hurt him, and he's gonna realize he really threw something good away. He really did. For what? A cheap laugh? A cheap joke? It's funny how he made the joke, but I'm the one laughing now. And yeah, he really shot himself in the foot. And I hope that haunts him every day for the rest of his fucking life. I just hope that just haunts him and scares him. And, God, I could have, had this life with Tiffany. But no, I decided to be a comedian. Yeah. And also one more thing. His house that he bought. The one thing I asked him when he bought his house was to make sure that it's in Beaumont, Texas, so that I could still use the bus to go back and forth to my dialysis treatment. He bought the house in a different town. Completely disregarded what I asked him. And had I abandoned my apartment and moved with him, I'd have been stranded with no way to get back and forth to dialysis. And my life would have been in jeopardy. So, yeah. There's also that. How he had absolutely no consideration for me or my needs. And, now I have absolutely no consideration for him or his needs. Whatever in the hell they may be. And the thing is, he's not of the best health. And that's a lot coming from me being on dialysis. But he smokes, he has his back issues, he has other things that are currently wrong with him, and he has nobody. He has absolutely nobody to help him. And eventually his back is going to wear down to the point where I'm quite sure he won't even be able to drive the bus anymore. Won't be able to walk, won't be able to do anything. And had he treated me right, I would have helped him. Because what does Tiffany have all the experience of? Being a nurse. Almost 20 years experience taking care of both of my parents. He would have had a perfect built-in nurse. But he pissed all of that away. So while he's probably somewhere becoming confined to a wheelchair, I'll be in Los Angeles having coffee with Taj Jackson and taking pictures and doing videos for everybody to see and having Taj say hi to everybody like I deserve. I've had a raw deal in this life. Every nice thing that the Lord decides to bestow upon me, I'm going to take it because I deserve it. And I feel I deserve it. I feel like I'm entitled to that. And I'm thankful for every little scrap the Lord gives me. Now, there may be another man in my future. Hopefully he looks something more like Terrell Jackson, like what I originally wanted. There may not be another man. But you know what? I'm not going to worry about that man anymore. The only time I will see Michael again is to give him his $70 and to show up at his funerals whenever he dies. Because I have a spectacular black dress and I look amazing in it. Alright, now to pack my stuff before I'm late for dialysis. Because I still want to go to McDonald's. I'm hungry. But, yeah. Oh, and don't worry. Like I said, I don't mourn this at all. I am extremely happy to be rid of that little malignant tumor.